An hour? What am I supposed to do with the mad scientist for an hour?
You know, tamper in God's domain.
So that means we're live, all right? And so just for those who are new to the podcast, and if you're new to the podcast, you can go back and check the 277 episodes because I'm welcoming you to the 278th episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast.
Did it again.
With Jared Lee and RJ.
You did it again.
Dude, you know what? It's all right. That was still semi-good. I'll give myself a
No, it was good, but you got it wrong.
It's 78, right?
79.
It's 79. Oh, my God. Dude,
just so I can confirm, let me make sure.
Here, let us confirm with Jared the numeric number of episodes that we have had.
You can introduce
And while Jared is looking up potentially something, earth-shattering, Arvis, welcome back to the show, man.
Appreciate it, RJ.
Oh, man,
Jared.
I'm
Yep,
so
79.
79. Okay, so this is the 279th episode of the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. And then we got Arvis here, so thanks for coming over,
He's got
man.
2 jobs, guys. 2 jobs.
Yeah, one of them takes up a lot of my time. The other one,
No, it doesn't.
They take up a lot of time. They take up just a lot of thinking power, a lot of all this stuff.
Description does not take a lot especially when they're like 1 paragraph sentences.
Well, I will say this: last week when you left, I was like talking to my mom because I was watching this Lifetime movie
She was
with
good
her.
with the vanilla.
What I was gonna say is I was watching a Lifetime movie with my mom for 20 minutes. That Single Black Female 3. That was the name of the movie.
Okay. All right.
That was the name of the movie.
Yeah,
I don't know.
bonding. I got you.
So I watched about 20 minutes of it thinking, what the fuck is this shit? And so I was like, man, maybe I'll just do the description now so I can just get it out of the way.
But it didn't happen.
It did not happen. That is correct. So here's how these events transpired. So I was like, you know what, Mom? I'm going to go upstairs. Thanks for, dinner and everything. Go upstairs. I'm about to sit down in my chair, text Jared the description, but then my gaming buddies message me. I'm like, oh, well, I can do it before bed. And, yeah, that never happened until about 8 o'clock the following evening when Jared was like...
No, I texted you at 7, and I got it at 10 the following evening.
Yeah, because I saw it, and I was like, fuck. I can't believe I forgot to do it. I was like, here, I'll do it in a minute.
If you already had it done, all you had to do is hit send.
It was crazy, dude. It was crazy. I was halfway done with it, and then, there was just a lot going on. So my apologies. And I will say the 20 minutes of Single Black Female 3 that I did watch, that's the name of the movie. I didn't know there was a third. Apparently, it's a trilogy.
I didn't know there was the first one.
Me either.
Yeah,
One and
so
two.
Lifetime. I mean,
And we're
it.
black.
Yeah,
Let's go. That's right. We should know.
Yeah, I mean, it was just relatively entertaining for what I saw.
What up, Epic?
Just wanted to throw that out there if you're a fan of Lifetime.
And all the lab rats out there.
The lab rats. So, no, I will be a little more prompt with the description this week. And that is...
We shall see.
Well, that is... Well, I've put the pressure on myself, so therefore I need to do it.
Okay.
Arvis, what's been going on, man? What have you been up to? It's been a while since you've been on the show with us.
It has been, man. Still, just like the last time, still fighting the good fight for military justice reform.
Yes, sir.
Since that time, we've made a lot of progress. We've touched base with a lot of people. There's a couple of documentaries that are thinking about featuring us in to talk about it. And we've had a lot of veterans come forward with their stories. The most recent is I have an active duty chaplain who came forward to talk about the suicide rates in the military because of the false accusations. So I was so grateful she had the bravery to come forward because a lot of people don't.
That's one of the many reasons. Because
It is.
Yeah,
it is.
And
It's sad too.
Yeah.
It's funny you say
It's about
that.
to get worse.
It's funny you say that. I actually saw a news article maybe a week ago that somewhere in Texas that about four or five like sheriff's deputies within 6 weeks have committed suicide. And they're trying to find out some logistical reason, obviously, behind it. And
I did hear briefly about it.
And nobody can seem to obviously figure out why. So,
well, weren't they were all females, right? Or at least 2 of them.
I know 2 of them were. I saw that.
I think it's 2 and 2. 2 men and 2 women.
I could probably guess why the 2 women may have done it.
Well, here's a big thing, guys: is mental health is, as you guys all know, is extremely important.
Yeah.
But think about when we were little boys, right? What did they tell us? Right? Rub some dirt on it and keep going.
Oh my God!
Right? We were never told to express our emotions or get that out, and so sometimes that stuff builds and builds, and if you don't have an outlet, then bad stuff happens. And so,
and it's something that we've actually talked about quite a bit on this show, Jared, myself, and previous guests as well. And the thing is, It's really difficult because we do live in such a day and age where everybody's information is everywhere. Everybody's business is out there. It seems like you don't have a
Old shit gets dug up.
Yeah, you can't. It's almost like in order to have some peace of mind, you have to completely shut your phone off. And I don't want to say hide in a closet and be a shut-in, but you got to kind of escape that social aspect of reality because that's what I think a lot of it is. Can trigger it.
RJ, I agree with you. I 100% think it. And I think that labeling what men want to do as toxic also hurts us.
Yeah.
Right? It's you can't go out and hunt some stuff.
Yeah.
Or do some stuff that when we were kids, it was part of being a man. Like you can't explain why you want to do it, right?
Yeah.
But you want to do it. And somebody who doesn't have that need can't call you toxic. But we've gotten away from that. It's someone else put that label on it. And so what is a true man, right? They'll say, well, you're not a real man. But you're like, well, what is a real man? And if you get to define what's a real man, what's a real woman, right?
Yeah.
And so I really think that, they're stripping men at their core of things. And it's causing that mental health crisis, I think. And it's crazy, man. It's just crazy.
And it sucks because I know that it's okay to be vulnerable and express yourself and things of that nature. But I think where a lot of guys come into a lot of men, and I'm sure this applies to women as well, is when they do reach out or express something to somebody, ultimately it gets thrown back in their face in some way, shape, or form.
Yes.
In relationships, for sure.
Yeah, that is a very common, the toxic relationship culture that is nowadays, or at least perceived to be.
I'm just saying, like, from experience, like, if I try to tell someone something and then later on it'll come up, like, wait, what? I wasn't supposed to be.
Right?
Yeah.
Right? And to you guys' point, it gets so bad that you could have the best intentions, and somebody, like Jared was saying, they misconstrue what you said. So I'm going to share a story with you guys, something, so my wife bought me a package one time for our anniversary. And so I went in the woods and hand-carved a bow and arrow and shit, right?
Okay.
So she knew I would like that shit.
Yeah.
So I go, it was in Appomattox, Virginia. I drive down there, and I'm in the woods with hand tools and shit. So I make this bow. I send my friends pictures of it, right? Me shooting this bow and shit. And so, the friends I have, they like to tease a little bit.
Okay.
So they came back.
That's guys in general.
Yeah, right. But I appreciate it. They came back and called me the last of the Brohekins. They called me dances with pit bulls. They called me gangster Robin of the Hood. They said no chicken in the hood is safe. Gangster Cupid, fall in love, bitch.
Yeah.
What else? And so, but it was funny, right?
Yeah.
It was some funny shit. And I could take it for that, and we could crack. But you can't even crack a joke anymore now, because, well, without somebody getting offended and putting a label on you.
Yes. I don't know. I guess that partly is probably why I started doing comedy, because I was like, I want to still be able to have some, not so much an excuse to say whatever I want, but it's like, yo, I'm just trying to make a joke out of the situation. Because if we take everything seriously all the fucking time, then that's when the mental health shit starts to come in.
I agree, and that's what I think is happening in a lot of circles. Is people can't step back from that, and you can't just tease somebody without getting that negative label, and so there's no really expression outside of that comedy venue where you can say what you feel and somebody not take it the wrong way.
Shit, I've been at comedy shows like at the DC Improv where you can hear they'll say something, a comedian will say something, and then the audience is like, they'll groan. I've had it happen too, but then you have to remind them, like, look at where you are.
Yeah, you're in a comedy show.
This is what this is for. This art form came about because people got arrested. Lenny Bruce got arrested just because during the time that he was around, the shit that he was saying, you couldn't say. Right. So he would get arrested for vulgar language and all kinds of crazy shit. And I think he used to talk shit about the police and he had a lot of controversial stuff, but like because of people like that, we are now able to do that, but under the guise of I'm on stage and I'm just, even when I'm off stage, I like to say some crazy shit.
But let me ask you guys this. Where do you think along the line did it become a problem to not joke around so much with people anymore. Do you think it stems from the school shootings, kids getting bullied, and it's like, hey, maybe we should take.
I don't know. I think that's a bit extreme.
Well, no. I'm thinking of it as like a whole. Because, dude, I grew up. I'm a little younger than you guys, but still, you grow up. Your buddies make funny. I get roasted all the time.
What up, Londa?
I don't care.
And I told you, with you just take it. Like you don't have any comebacks. So it's like,
yeah.
No, I don't know.
But it doesn't bother me. But that's my point. It doesn't bother me.
So if it doesn't bother you, then that's fine. But
right, you know what I think it is though. It's groups of people started to internalize the teasing, and they labeled it. And then when they gave it that negative label, we bit off into it. And so I will tell you, I'll give you this story. I had a friend of mine, and his daughter was getting bullied at school. Female. And the reason she was getting bullied is when I was in school, and probably you too, RJ, is we called them a tomboy, right?
Yeah.
But you can't say that anymore.
Really?
So we would have called her a tomboy. So she was in like middle school. She didn't want to wear dresses. So I remember you had tomboys who didn't wear dresses and tomboys who at least wore a dress during Easter, right?
Okay.
She didn't wear one during Easter. So her friends would tease her, right? And so she was depressed. She was cutting herself.
Oh,
right?
shit.
And so I asked my friend, I said, hey, can I talk to her? And she talked to me a little bit about what, these girls were saying. And we sat at the table and played the dozens. I said, so I'm going to talk about you, and we're just joking, and you're going to talk about me. And you're going to do this to these girls when you go back to school. So I would go to their dinner table, and we would just crack on each other.
All right.
And I said, your mom's off limits, but your dad, you can get him, you can get me, you can get your brother. And we start having fun with it. So she goes back to school, and she start roasting these girls. They start crying. They told the principal. And so my friend calls me. He's like, Arv, I got to go to the principal's office now because she's dogging these girls.
Yeah.
And so I talked to her, and I'm like, hey, self-defense, She said, they teased me to the point where I was going to kill myself for 3 years. Oof. Can I do it for 3 months? And I almost cried. I was like, wow. And we went, and we talked about it, and the girls start crying. And I wanted them girls to be punished, like some ass whippings. Yeah. And they start crying and hugging and became friends, and I got mad. Right? I was in my feelings. I'm like, what you mean you just gonna forgive these bitches 3 years?
Yeah, but the thing about females, they don't normally forgive each other like right away. Guys, they'll be mad at each other, and then like 2 days later.
Yeah, I've seen it.
My bad, bro. Like,
right.
Dude, I've seen people.
Women, they'll be like, fuck that bitch for fucking 30 years. And it's like, maybe if y'all let shit go, you'd be a little more happier. I don't know.
No. But internalizing that stuff is
right.
Yeah, no, you're right. And
wait, real quick, Epic said if RJ promises to wear one of everything I just sent you guys for next week, I'll donate 50 subs right now.
One of everything. What does that even mean?
What does that mean? Is that drawers? You got
that's what I'm wondering.
RJ and some thongs?
No, I am not wearing
thongs. Thong.
Yeah, we'll never get.
Love it when the beat goes on. Come on now, RJ.
We were just talking about like how people were like.
See how he dodged the answer?
Yeah, but still.
Come on now.
Well, can we have a hint of possibly of what it is?
Yeah, give us a hint.
Because I don't want to go out here doing morally incorrect shit.
Right. Look.
It can't be that bad.
I was thinking a headband. Like, you look good in a headband.
Yeah, no. A headband, cool.
Headband.
A headband or like a bandana, maybe.
That's it. I can see you like a motorcycle gang RJ.
Yeah, no, see, I don't.
You can't do it. You got the beard and shit. Yeah, you got that Sons of Anarchy thing popping.
No, that show was really good.
He said it's not embarrassing. It's for a good cause.
Okay, if it's for a good cause. Hold on.
Okay, let's do this.
All right.
You don't have to do the 50 today, but if once we get it and he does do it, then you got to give the 50 subs.
That's cool.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I just want to be. Now, I've known this gentleman for a long time. I know he wouldn't do anything to put harm in my life.
Well, he gave you a coffee enema, and now you didn't give it to you personally.
Yeah, no. So he didn't. He sent me the kit as a joke, like the coffee enema.
He was supposed to do it.
Yeah, I was supposed to.
But what?
I guess just to talk about, because apparently it's a thing. The coffee.
I have heard of it. Yes.
Oh yeah, he gets a discount today. That's why.
Oh well,
It's 35% off of subs today, I think.
Okay. Oh well, here. I mean, if it's more.
Go ahead and do it,
wallet.
RJ. Do it.
All right.
I'm saying no thongs. So.
All right. No thongs, but I'll do it. But I'll do it.
You heard it here first. RJ's wearing a thong.
I'm not wearing a thong. Good Lord.
That thong.
But Jesus, just the thought of that.
That's it. I'm telling you
how uncomfortable that would be.
Well, look. In fact, I didn't know until when we're like, a thong is incredibly uncomfortable, right?
I mean, this is a piece of string going up through your coochie.
Yeah, but see, I thought, fashion. I didn't know heels hurt till a woman said, "Look, our heels be hurting like a mug."
No, I've known that.
You're on your toes for like.
Well, they say it hurts the calf and the ankles and shit.
Because imagine staying on your toes for, I don't know, hours.
I got you, man. But it's why I keep doing it if it's going to hurt
because they're trying to get men.
You know what? They got men as cave women, right? You can wear a burlap sack. You're going to get a dude.
Yeah, but
he's right about that.
As time has, I get it. Down to the simplest form of human beings, like, yo, we're fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But as the world got civilized, which is kind of funny because I've been watching 1923 and they were talking about that. Interesting points, but anyway.
All right. Well,
but yeah, now that I think about it, women didn't start shaving their legs until I think it was the 50s.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, because they were trying to. It was Gillette. They were trying to sell more razors because the only people who were buying razors were men.
Yeah.
Right.
So they were like, well, there's a whole nother fucking demographic that we could market to. Like, how do we market to them?
Yeah.
Well, instead of making them buy nylons to cover up the hair or make their legs look smoother, I guess that's what they were for.
Right.
Let's just create a commercial or an ad that says, hey, shave your legs and make them smooth, or whatever the message was at the time. And then that's why we have women's razors now, because they were selling them to get them to shave their legs.
Oh,
wow.
Well,
Okay.
that is some interesting shit.
That is, man. Marketing is powerful.
Oh, yeah. And America is fucking crazy with it. But there was something else that was...
Smoking, I know, was same thing.
Well, smoking, a big one. Toothpaste. Just it's proven that the mint in there does nothing. It just makes you feel like your mouth is clean.
Right.
So that's why they started putting mint in toothpaste, just to keep selling more.
I really wouldn't know what else I would want toothpaste to taste like an adult toothpaste. You know what I mean? Not some kid bubblegum flavored shit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, people weren't fucking with it. However, I forgot what the ingredients were, but whatever they were doing. But they tried just straight lemon. Didn't work as well.
Oh, my God.
That's where the mint came from, because it makes it last longer and it's stronger. So,
well, I'm glad that we didn't have to live through that era of brushing our teeth with lemon. I mean, people use baking soda and
I've
shit
heard
like
of that. I've tried that.
I've personally never done that. Because
baking soda peroxide toothpaste they have now.
Right.
Oh, well, yeah, there's that.
But that came from people using baking soda,
right,
or straight up peroxide to whiten their teeth.
And you know what? I think, talking about all this marketing stuff, is that these companies can do stuff to help people do good stuff in their life, right?
Holy shit, 50 bomb!
Oh, my God.
Okay. All right.
Oh, yeah, where's the... I got to find it. Oh, here we
got to find it.
50 bomb from Epic. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate
That's a big one right there.
Epic.
Oh, my
right?
God. I'm probably going to be wearing
E-money?
a Tom Brady jersey or something.
E-money?
That's it.
Oh, I should have said no to that, too, but that's okay.
What's that?
A Tom Brady jersey.
Wait, what?
I thought you was a big Steelers guy. You
Yeah,
talking about Tom Brady.
No, I'm saying I'm not wearing a thong and I'm not wearing a Brady jersey.
Oh, I got you. You gotta draw the line somewhere.
Yeah, no.
I thought you are wearing a Brady jersey.
So I could wear a Brady jersey. I get you with the thong, no thongs. But I like Tom Brady. Come on now. Who doesn't like Tom Brady?
He's a fucking stupid Pittsburgh fan.
Yeah, well, I'm not a stupid
Just
Pittsburgh
a great
fan.
player.
That's not how that works,
Oh,
sir.
you guys have a quarterback yet?
No.
I've been watching the news.
Nope.
I thought, okay, they're gonna take Russell. Then they're gonna take Justin. Now you're gonna take Aaron Rodgers. You know, my mama might
I
be a
can't wait to
quarterback
see
for the
that.
Steelers. Who the hell?
I can't wait to see that disaster.
Because Aaron, I don't think he listens, man. You know,
He
you
don't
guys
at
are
this
about
point.
that discipline. You guys are disciplined.
Yeah.
And so,
That's what I'm saying. I don't know why we would go out and try to get him. I'm very comfortable with, as crazy as this sounds, as for Mason Rudolph to start. I don't care. He'll be fine.
Really?
Yes, he'll be fine.
oh,
Trust me.
wow. You got DK Metcalf on the team now?
Yeah.
All right, Lana, relax.
Uh-oh.
You know we're over here in America. We're, it's different here. He said
You
Messi.
talking about some soccer?
Yeah, he said Messi's greater than Tom Brady.
I
And
mean,
was like, meh.
Well,
Don't
different
say-
sport. Come on.
don't do that.
Come on.
Well, I was gonna
Don't
say-
do that because you know what? If you do that, then I'm gonna have to take a little bit of points off your American card.
My American card.
Yeah.
Dude, we should start selling them like Trump, dude. Like the $5 million card that
I
he's
will tell
selling
you
or
this.
whatever it is.
I'll look.
Hey,
Heard it here first, sir. I will sell mine as long as I can go to Belize or let's see what country. I think Belize. I would go to
Wrestling was just there, believe it or not.
somewhere where there's beaches, clear water.
South America's beautiful.
I would sell. Oh, Costa Rica. Yep. I would sell my citizenship for $5 million.
Yeah.
Oh,
But you got to
wow.
go to one of these countries where that money's gonna last me for a long time.
Yeah. You're right. What about the Philippines, right? You could be Black Apino.
Well, I think Thailand would probably be.
Oh, you
more-
want to be Black Tyler. Okay.
Yeah, just because I know the money will last there and the people are nice.
See, okay. I saw you as a Vietnam person myself.
no,
you
no,
want to
no,
do the
no,
Nam?
Nah.
All right.
I barely would do
Still has
the
flashbacks.
Philippines.
I said you still have flashbacks.
No flashback.
Nah,
He
I wasn't around.
Jared was part of the A-team.
Yeah, dude.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dude, Jared would be awesome on the A team.
Could.
We need to do an A-team parody. That was,
Here we go again. We could do it, but are you gonna do it? Who would you be? Because you won't shave your beard for nothing.
He could be face.
yeah, I could.
I guess he could be face.
This is true.
Yeah.
Just in disguise all the time.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Hey, sometimes those are the best ones. But I don't know. Maybe.
I guess I'm B.A. Baraka, huh?
BBA. Put some stuff in your milk. You get on the plane. Remember that? You
Oh,
said to drug his ass.
Oh yeah,
Because he
yeah.
didn't fly. And you know what? Let me tell you this, man. As somebody who likes to shoot, I would get mad at the A-team because they never hit shit. They be all them shots.
because
would
it
be
was
going,
TV. That's
Is
why.
that what it was?
Yeah.
I was like, y'all didn't hit nobody.
Dude,
Just dirt and shit. And I'm like,
It
come
was-
on
it's
now.
just all about the effect and the look of it. Because we were kids.
Y'all was 18 green, but y'all didn't hit nothing? But,
yeah,
okay.
no. I
All
would
right.
think, if you've got like a giant, machine gun or something, you know, like the scene in Terminator 2 where Arnold
right.
walks out of
Yeah,
the police station, up on the floor, just starts laying into everything.
or Matrix when they're
Oh,
in
that's
the
another,
helicopter.
Yeah, that's another really good example of that. So shit like that, yeah. But for like a kids show and stuff like that, I think Jared's right. It's supposed to like add effects to like just
Right.
the overall battle that,
Yeah, that joint
shells
was
are
on.
flying.
That joint was on like prime time TV.
Yeah,
What was it
yeah,
like 8:00? So they weren't gonna be able to. And you might get a couple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but I will say, when it comes to pushing television limits on
Right.
primetime TV, I know in recent years,
Recent.
my name is Richard, and
Uh-oh. That's right.
I'm under your bed. Anyway,
Jesus.
I'm gonna. Anyway,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's that CBD kicking in. That's
It
what that
is. It is. No, what I was. Fuck. I lost my train of thought.
Said lost Mary. You got to find her again.
Yeah. No. Anyway. Fuck.
It's all right, man. Take a breath. Take a breath. It'll come.
You
Gotta-
find that
You
what?
got to meditate.
I forgot for a second.
See, that's what happens when you use a lot of filler words.
I don't use a lot of filler
Yeah.
words.
Okay. Can I point them out when you do?
Sure. No, because then I feel like you're gonna do it a lot, almost like every time I speak.
You know, the ums and ahs and shit.
And ahs, and I feel. Well, you said something a second ago that made me think about it, but keep going.
Well,
yeah, man.
well,
Yeah, you can't say for the next 5
Oh,
minutes.
yes,
you
yes,
can't
I-
say fuck, yes, no, and I. That's easy.
Damn.
We used to watch a TV show
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
at nighttime, primetime television,
You ain't lying.
and over time, the shock value of what is allowed on regular TV, I
Fuck.
feel has gone up, like increased.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
back in the
yeah.
day, if I watched like
Ah,
if we watched a TV show together in unison, we collectively would gasp at somebody using a cuss word that's normally not used on a show, or seeing some skin on something that you normally wouldn't see.
Right.
So now I feel like when you put on, I said it again.
Said you.
Now when turn
someone
the TV, and when someone turns the television on nowadays,
a person,
could see anything.
Could see anything, and there's no limit to. But put it this way. When my family and myself, watch this, all right, we I fucking hate this shit.
It's like Miss Rachel up in this mug. Get it. Get it, RJ.
We are appalled. I want to use the word. We don't like using words. We.
You got that we down. You got that we down.
This is the only
You be
pronouns
using some we's like a mother. You be like, we.
The shock value
of we.
Watching said show has gone up over the years.
Yeah, you
and
said
we are sick of it.
Why are you sick of it?
Well, no, we are not sick of it. We are tired of it.
You're about to make them do we in a second.
You know what's crazy?
Please don't.
Is you're right. The kids are exposed to so much stuff. You're right.
Yeah,
you can say shit now on TV.
Yeah, you can see
so
everything.
stuff like that.
You're allowed one fuck on certain TV, certain times.
I know.
Slots.
AMC had one for Breaking Bad.
So I'll give you an example. I went to my kids' high school and I watched a play, and I heard them cursing with sexual innuendos. And I was like,
"What was the play?"
Yeah,
what was it? It was called Puffs. So it was like a Hufflepuff, Harry Potter type thing.
Okay.
And there was sexual innuendos and kiss. And I'm like, this high school? And I'm looking around, and other parents are looking at me, and I'm looking at them like, we're here.
Shit, we were doing a streetcar that named Desire in fucking high school.
Really?
What the fuck?
See, we had some PG.
No, streetcar named Desire.
They was some R like a mug.
There's a lot of screaming in it.
Think about the name Puffs. You hear Puffs.
Yeah, that's why you laugh.
You don't expect to see some stuff.
I wasn't expecting that to
be the name of it.
To be, yeah. I thought you were gonna say like, what did we do in the first grade? We did the Big Bad Willow, the three. What is it? Little Red Riding Hood. There we go. Sorry.
But imagine Little Red Riding Hood twerking, right?
No.
Now she twerking. Now she trying to. She got her OnlyFans. She trying to make money for school,
dude. And she's probably being pimped out by the Bears in this.
She might be. Yeah, she might be.
Londa almost at 2 years following the VizMad Scientist Twitch channel.
Nice. Can we give him like a balloon or something? Can you emoji like a balloon?
I probably could, but he did follow it, so I told him he gets something out of that.
All right. Well, we're gonna get you something. Thanks for following us for so long, buddy.
That's awesome.
No, but you're a high school play. So what did the play construct? You said it was Harry Potter type.
It was Harry Potter type. Somebody getting indoctrinated in the Hufflepuff. Like, think about this for a second.
Wait, is this like original or?
It was. I don't know.
Maybe one of the side stories or something.
It was a side story. It was like a completely different one, not affiliated with the movie. It was a play with the Hufflepuff's theme, and somebody's coming into Hufflepuff, and Hufflepuffs don't have a lot of juice, right?
Yeah.
Think about it. Gryffindor's got juice.
Oh, yeah.
Slytherin's got juice. Ravenclaw's got juice.
You're speaking fucking Russian to me.
No, it's all right.
The houses.
You guys
it's the houses, right?
I know.
So like
amongst yourself.
You ask people which house they want to be in,
yeah,
and nobody says Hufflepuff.
Yeah, nobody's gonna say that.
Hufflepuff sounds like some Cheetos that went stale.
Yeah, they do.
And
exactly.
And that was the deal. It was like they're not thought of in a great light. And so what you get at the end is, we matter, we are Hufflepuff, right? It was something like that. But it was all of the cursing and the sexual innuendos. I was like, and my kids kept looking at me, smiling, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to let it go. But going back to your point with TV, is that I've never cursed in front of my parents ever, right? But I hear kids now.
Oops.
I'm talking.
Oh, I go.
Yeah, they go.
Oh, dude.
Like my aunt and my mom, they used to hate it because they grew up like profanity, and it was called swearing You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, curse words.
Yeah, curse words. Like, well, I'm not cursing anybody. I'm just expressing what the fuck I'm feeling. But now I curse in front of my mom all the time. It's not that I'm being disrespectful. It's just how I talk. You know what I'm saying? It just comes out.
And the kids do too now. Like, so where they don't care where they are. Like, I've heard kids, you'll go to the high school to visit, and you're like, wow.
Yeah, and I still think they should kind of have some kind of like couth in school. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least know when and where you can and can't. School is one place that's like, if you get a corporate job, you're not gonna be up in the fucking conference room during a meeting talking about fuck this bitch. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, yeah, you're gonna have to.
And Jared, that's the point exactly. Is knowing when and where to use that, and it's appropriate. So like, I'll give you an example. I have twin boys who are 14, about to be 15. So whenever we have a teacher conference, they said, your children are so respectful and polite. And the way they say it, they're surprised. And they go, well, trust me, these other kids are not. These other kids are not. And so that's why they're so surprised at it.
Yeah.
And I go, well, it's because there's a time and place when you use that stuff. And it's, to your point with the TV, they're blurring the lines.
Yeah.
They're blurring the lines now, right?
Yeah.
It's all the time.
It's a Robin Thicke song.
Yeah.
Yeah. Finish it.
Okay.
There's like nothing off limits anymore.
Right.
And I agree with you guys when there's a time and a place. I remember when I was a kid, I would never swear. Never. Because my dad had a mouth like a sailor.
Yeah, when you were 5? Like
No. I mean, I'm even talking 8, 9, 10. I didn't really start cussing normally until I was like 13, 14 years old, honestly.
You know, one thing, like, there was, like, when we were kids and, like, at school, if you would say anyone, even when I was working at the school, you hear somebody say one word, and they'll be like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, you were being shamed.
Yeah, no, yeah.
But, like, now, I don't even know. I haven't been to a school in a minute, but.
Right.
Ain't nobody saying ooh.
Ain't no oohs.
Yeah.
It's normal. It's a new normal.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they're even disrespectful to their teachers. And then you have the electronics addiction that you see with the phones.
Phones, I heard, are a big problem.
They're doing something now, which I like, where at least at their school, they collect the phones before class and put them in these sleeves.
Yeah, I've heard of that. But is that everywhere, or is that?
No. They're doing a pilot right now. And then I think that they will go to that, though.
Yeah.
Because the kids are so distracted. How are you going to pay attention if you're on your phone?
That's a big thing in the comedy world. So, again, like, people are going to say certain things. Like, Dave Chappelle was, like, one of the first people to
he collects them, doesn't he?
He does. At first, he was collecting them, but then this company that came out, and they were like, you put them in these pouches, and it's locked by a magnet. I've had to use it before when I went to the mothership in Austin. But they take your phone, put it in a pouch. It's magnetically sealed. You can't get in there until they unlock it when you're leaving. So you walking around, fucking pouch in your pocket, your phone's inside there. And that way nobody can record what's going on because, first of all, I'm writing jokes. I'm doing new stuff. I may say some wild shit, but I don't want that going on the internet because now I can't use it on the road or I can't use it in a special that's coming up later. Because he knows, as we went to Tom Segura a few years ago.
Yeah.
And a lot of the jokes that he was doing, they didn't lock him up, but they said no phone usage. But a lot of jokes he was doing, he was setting up for his special, the next special that came out. Those jokes were in it. Now, they were a little honed, a little tighter, but that's the whole process of a stand-up comic.
Right.
Which I don't think people a lot of times understand. They were like, oh, well, he wasn't funny fucking at that club when I went. Well, he was probably working new jokes,
right?
And they weren't fully formed. So I don't think everybody sees this big show that's done, which that's the most manicured piece of a comedian that you'll ever see. You know what I'm saying?
They don't see the building, right?
No, they don't.
You see the finished product, but you don't see the build that it took to get there.
Yeah.
So no, I agree, and like I said, you throw the phones in there, everybody's recording all the time, right?
Recording or just in it. It's and I assume it's the same for kids. They're just always on there.
So going back to that, I'll tell my kids, hey, go to the neighbor and just ask to play outside. So you'll notice before we started, I told RJ, I'm looking and I'm seeing kids and I'm smiling because they're outside playing.
Mm-hmm.
They're on their bicycle, they're rollerblading, and I just don't see that anymore. And it's sad to me that I'm like, wow, playing outside is an anomaly now, but being on your phone or your computer or you're playing games, that's the norm.
Yeah, it's funny you bring that up because I was on TikTok, I think it was yesterday, as a matter of fact, and somebody was on there. It's always like different genders, different generations kind of talking about how they grew up. And then one of the comments in one of the video was to the guy. He was the person was saying, "Is it true that people in the 80s just free roamed and didn't have any problems?" This guy answering back, he was like, "I don't know about the 80s, but I grew up in the 90s, and we were free roam, everything." So you got if it was in the 90s, it was even more in the 80s. 80s, 90s, maybe early 2000s. I was out of school by then, but
I was still in school when we were out.
I didn't want to be in the house,
right?
And I had a Nintendo, and I liked playing it. But if I could be outside, I would much rather be outside.
Especially when the weather's nicer, and things of that nature.
Even when it's cold outside, I'd be like, we gonna find something to do.
Oh, dude, we always found shit.
So, Jared, I told my kids this. I said we would go to this big field, and we always knew who the two best players were. And we would get in a line, and then they would pick, and we go play football, baseball, basketball, whatever, mostly football. And it was like you knew where you stood, right?
Yeah.
Like you knew you felt like crap if you got picked last, which you only got picked based on how well you played the last game.
Of course, 100%.
And so my kids have never seen that before. They're like, really? I'm like, we didn't know these kids. You would just show up, and then you just instinctively knew who the kids who were really good, they'd be the captains, and we play pickup. And you don't see, at least I don't see it anymore. Maybe it's happened in different parts of the country. But
you make a very good point because we had stuff like that too, especially if the person that was picking teams was a little older than us, and it's like all right, this guy is like the leader. You're right. You instinctively know, and it is wild though because going outside and doing socializing. I'll give you a good example. A young lady came into my my dealership yesterday, and she got a rental unit. And I have to input all her information to create an agreement. And her date of birth is 2003, right? And and it just hit me in the head. I was like, yo, she wasn't alive when 9/11 happened.
I'm so glad that I'm not a door guy anymore because it would hurt my heart reading fucking IDs.
It's crazy, though. It was so crazy. And I'm just thinking, and I'm like, dude, this chick wasn't even born when September 11th happened. Doesn't have any idea of any of this shit, even though I'm not that old. It was just kind of, I didn't say anything to her, but just looking at the date on it, I was like, yo, 2003? I was in the 8th grade. You know what I mean?
RJ, I tell people two things will happen in your life to make you feel old. One, something on your body is going to break that you didn't expect to break, right?
Okay.
That's number one.
That's crazy.
That's great.
That's number one. That's number one. And number two, you're going to see something in your body that you didn't expect to see, right? Mine was, I got gray pubic hair. I did not know that.
Okay.
Maybe TMI.
Yeah,
I'm starting to see gray hairs up here, and
Look,
I'm like,
I see a little in my beard on occasion.
Man, I didn't even know they grew gray down there. It was like my wife saw it and started calling me the gray squirrel and shit, right? She's like, you got a gray squirrel's nest. And I was so mad at her. I was mad at gray squirrels for 2 months after that shit.
Look, man, I ain't falling for no banana in my tailpipe.
That's it. Man, I was going to dye that shit. I went to Amazon. I was going to get some black dye.
Yeah.
And she said, you better not dye that hair. Right. And then I was going to pluck it. She's like, you better not pluck that hair.
You're going to get a bunch more.
You did. That's what happened.
Yeah.
But it was like, I didn't know that happened, right? So you get a little gray hair, you don't feel that old. But when you start getting gray down there, man, you're like, God damn it.
Something for us to not look forward to.
No, you don't want it.
Epic has a couple points. He said nowadays kids get publicly executed. That's a crazy way of saying it. For if they get caught playing outside, he's joking. He said he would get executed if he didn't
play outside.
Go outside.
Right.
He said parents need to make more little people. That's an issue in America.
In Western countries. Yeah.
I actually heard that on the news yesterday.
The birth rate is
Well, it's all Western countries because the cost of living is so high.
Japan's been like that for a while.
They are.
I forgot the exact numbers, and I'm gonna mess it up. But the older population, they have more seniors,
right,
than they have younger people, which is wild.
It is, and
that's kind of crazy.
China's like that because of the one-child policy. So,
oh yeah, they fucked themselves over,
right? So you got tons.
But they got 1 billion people. So
yeah, there's a lot of people.
Well, but it's like you need them in different age categories.
Yeah.
So you need the younger to be able to take care of the older. So right now they have fewer in that younger compared to the older. And you're right. I heard about Japan was paying people. I don't know if it was true
to go be over there and
make some babies.
Yep.
Right. It was like BYOB up in here. And
so I look at it this way. There is not to be like whatever the word is, like we were talking about what is it, 2012 or whatever. Was that here on the show?
Maybe that doesn't ring a bell.
What are we talking about?
Basically, what I'm saying is there are too many people on the planet, as is.
Okay.
Because that's why we're running into the issues that we're running into, the global warming or climate change, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Whatever side of the spectrum of the political thing you are on, then you're going to call it. Or you might not even, the funny part is, you might be on one part of the spectrum of the political stuff, but you also will be on a spectrum of whether it's global warming doesn't exist or climate change. So either way, it's getting fucking hot. And their numbers and graphs can prove that.
Right.
The temperature of the water is getting hotter. The sea level's growing, all that.
Right.
Now, to say what it is exactly, it could be cars and methane from cows and all this other shit.
Yeah.
But that also comes from not having or having too many people. So if people rate goes down, all the other shit will go down.
So you're saying
because households have how many, like a lot of households have at least 2 cars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Now, I won't say at least 2 cars. I know for a fact of some households that only have 1. But for the most part, there's at least 2 cars, depending on how many people are in that house.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that contributes to it. Then we have to sit everywhere. Like, I went to get my car washed today. Fucking sat there with the engine on for probably a good 30 minutes.
Right.
Because there was so many people there. And we're wasting all the water and all this other shit.
Look, and don't forget the child care costs.
Thanks for
man.
keeping me clean, Earth.
Daycare ain't no joke these days.
Oh, I went to
what
daycare.
Parents are paying.
I heard
I
it's
believe it.
expensive.
I believe it.
It's pricey. So when you throw all that together, what we're talking about, it's why you have fewer and fewer kids.
I was some news thing I was watching. They were saying one of the things is, well, first of all, some of them don't want to have kids, mainly because they don't want to subject them to the future that could be coming. The other is the cost of everything is high. And the other one, they just can't afford it in general because they can barely afford to keep themselves alive.
Right. Then you got to educate them, right?
Yep,
You want to send them to school or something like that.
And then that's the other thing. The education system in America, the education levels have declined by a lot since, I don't know, maybe the 80s ish. Yeah, it's fucking insane.
Well, I was gonna say with the shit.
Too much CBD.
No, that's not even that.
I forgot to take my Alpha Brain today, so my shit's not working.
No. I've been taking my CMOS gel. You ever tried that?
I have. I had some.
Yeah. No, I actually kind of fuck with that shit. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've been taking it for maybe 3 weeks now.
He was a fat Faison liar.
I'm on my first jar, all right? I'm working on it.
Look, he got there, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw something else. Have you ever heard of saccades? Put your thumbs out below eye level and then take your eye back and forth between it, and it integrates your right and left side of your brain. So saccades.
What is it?
Or saccades or what they call it. And you just go back and forth as fast as you can, and it integrates that left and right side. So I do that to kind of keep the brain popping a little bit.
I hate cicadas.
Yeah. They're noisy.
Okay,
They're
that's
fucking
different. And I know, look, I got you. I hate those too.
Big ass
but these is got an S in there, and this helps your
cicadas.
brain. So
Gotcha.
it's all good. But that's what happens as you get older. you try and find things so you have that feeling. Because I start having senior moments. I'm 52 now. I start having senior moments where I forget shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, man, I didn't forget anything before. So you have something that happens that you don't expect and you feel older.
Yeah.
And then you look ahead. You ever watch old men walk?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. Oh my!
I watch old men walk.
I was at the baseball game the other day, and I saw like a few older guys, and I was just like, there was one older black guy. I was like, I can't be. He was looking at all.
Was
the
he
shit.
shuffling? Was he shuffling?
No, he was just standing there, but he was just eating peanuts, and he was like staring at all the women, and I'm like, yo, and then everything was like slow, and I'm like, I don't want to be that pervy ass guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm here for the baseball game. He was there for the game too, but it was like, why you got to do it like that? But then I would see an older man just walking by, and he's taking his fucking time. I'm like, I ain't ready for that.
Jared, that's what I look at. You start looking ahead, I see old men and they're shuffling, moving slow, scared all the time. And then you look at their lady, and she doing yoga and some bootleg Pilates and shit and moving around. And so you start taking your health and fitness more seriously.
Yeah, that's why that's why I like doing jiu-jitsu, because actually we have a couple older guys like in their late 70s, and they're there all the time. They can't do as much as they can roll, but they just can't roll like a fucking 23-year-old.
Right.
And the 23-year-olds in their minds don't realize that they can't go as hard with the older person, so that the older guys get hurt sometimes. But that just becomes, after you do it for a while, then you realize, all right, I can't roll with every fucking body. I can only roll with specific people because I know I'm not going to get hurt. But they're moving, they're stretching, and that's the thing about why I like jiu-jitsu, is because you're getting the movement and the cardio and all the getting the sweat in. I need to get back to lifting, because lifting is a big thing as far as getting older.
Right. You need that strength.
You need that strength and keep those muscles from atrophying and all that other stuff. But
I was driving, this was maybe a week and a half ago, but I was driving
Miss Daisy
through Rose Hill, and there was a car in front of me, and it stopped, so I slowed down, and there was an old man crossing the street, but he was doing the whole shuffle thing, taking a sweet time, and I'm sure if he could go faster, he would have. But I was just sitting there watching him walk, and it's kind of weird we're talking about this, because I recently just saw that. Like, I had to stop because there was an old man crossing the street, and I'm just watching him take his time, and the weather was pleasant. I was like, oh, he's getting his steps in today. I was like, good for him, or whatever the case may be.
I found that with my mom, because she's had 2 knee surgeries on the same knee, and we'll go out somewhere, and like just to the grocery store or something, and I'm walking ahead, and I'm trying to wait for her, but my pace is like it's just my pace, even if I'm walking slow.
Right.
So, and then I'm feeling like I have to look around and make sure she's good, because we were at the doctor's the other day. She tripped over the curb. I'm like, just because I walk a certain line don't mean you can't look down and see where your feet are going too.
Right.
So, she almost fell, and I was like, oh my God, can't have her falling in front of the fucking hospitals.
So I tell people this story, and this was at the Green Turtle. So I started working on my mobility and flexibility because of the old man shuffle. So like I'll be at home stretching for 20 minutes.
I do that
just to put my hands on the floor.
Yeah.
And my wife will come by and be like, "You trying to do this?" She don't do no stretching, none. But she took gymnastics and stuff when she was a girl.
Oh, so she's always been flexible.
She's always been flexible, but she don't. But I every day, RJ and Jared, I do something every day. I have to.
But the thing is, you're doing it. Like, not a lot of people your age are even doing anything.
Right.
Sometimes I'll just get in this mood of like, you know what, I need a fucking stretch.
Right.
And I'll just, like you said, I'll go into like a 20-minute, maybe 30-minute stretch session, and just working shit that I know I need. You know?
So you guys, I was at the Green Turtle one day, and I was telling people this, right? And so I challenged the men. I said, see if you can get your hands on the floor.
None of them.
Zero. None of them could.
Like flat or just touch the floor?
I was like, just give me touching.
Oh, yeah. I
can't
do flat.
And it was none of them could. And then all of the ladies could. All of them.
Yeah.
None of them had practice. And I said, look, that's the difference between you shuffling your ass off as an old man and you being physically active like the ladies are. But
Well, they're not so much physically active necessarily. They're
they can move. They can move.
They're naturally more flexible than men are.
Right. But it was crazy. And Tara could do a split.
Oh,
I remember. So she not only could touch the floor, bam, she did a split.
Yeah.
Which I never can do, nor do I desire to do.
no.
I tried when I was a kid because Van Damme.
Van Damme used in the chair. I remember that. Yeah. But it was the fact that she hadn't even prepped, but she still had that flexibility.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't realize that you're losing it until it's gone.
Yep.
And you're trying to get across the street before RJ hits your ass in his car.
Yeah, dude. It's already got a dent on it. Don't need another.
Yeah.
Look, no, I try to stretch as much as possible. Mostly like hips.
Right.
Definitely the hips, and yeah, that's really.
Well, I got
as far as walking, like
Right.
Well, I got this thing for Christmas. I wore it for like a month and a half, and I still wear it from time to time. But I got this like kind of like posture adjuster.
That's good. No, that's important too,
no,
man.
I'm laughing at Epic.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna say, and I noticed it almost like kind of immediately, like after putting it on, and
He goes from good posture back down to
yeah,
slouch.
you know, it's all right. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm at home. No, but it just really made a huge difference in my day at work because I obviously sit at a desk now. I type at a computer and stuff like that, and I was like, all right, I don't want to get this severe case of carpal tunnel. Excuse me. And my posture gets just super poor and things like that. So I just it's crazy because I'm not that old, but I had it on for the first couple of days, and man, I felt a world of difference.
There you go. There you go.
It's like, damn, dude, like we don't really realize how our bodies are out of like alignment to a degree.
Right.
I'm not trying to get all like chiropractic and shit here on you guys, but
No, you're right. You're right.
No, but I just found it very beneficial, and I was like, hey, I'm doing the right thing.
No,
I felt like I was doing the right thing.
You're right, though. You're right, because I was going to tell you, because of that old man shuffle, I look at how people carry themselves and their posture. Are they hunched over?
Yeah.
Like I can tell people in pain now, because as I get older, I'm working on those posture things so I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
But most people, they never pay attention until that shit breaks.
Yeah.
And then they go, wait a minute, I got to work on my shoulders, my back, I have friends, ankles, hips, knees, who take ibuprofen every day. And I tell them,
that's just bad for you.
I said, look at the bottle. You're not supposed to take it more than 5 days.
Yeah.
Right?
Isn't ibuprofen? Which one fucks your stomach up?
I think all of them.
I think they all do.
No,
One is the liver and one is the
I
kidnees.
think Tylenol.
One is liver, one's
think
kidneys. I think.
Ibuprofen is liver and kidneys, and I think Tylenol is the lining of your stomach.
Right.
It could be mixed up, but either way,
Right.
it's not good for you to take it on a regular basis.
And that's why we talk about this stuff. You got to do that active doing something so that you can maintain. And you don't think about it when you're young, right? When we were young, we could do all this crazy stuff. Like recently I started following this martial artist who talked about fascia, right? Fascia is that covering of the meat, that little white film.
Yeah.
He says when we're young, that fascia is active, but they get stagnant. So they do a lot of bouncing on the toes in martial arts to activate that fascia so they can have that fast, quick, reactive movement. And so that's something I started to experiment now is activate my fascia so I can move better. And he said the fascia glides when you're young and it gets stuck when you're old.
So I saw something recently where, and this could be subjective, I guess, to a degree, but your calves are almost like your second brain to a degree.
I've heard second heart too.
Second heart. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of. But the reason you brought it up is
I think your gut is connected to your
your gut is the second brain,
and then your calves are your second heart. Yeah, okay, so that's what it was. But the guy was doing these, I guess, just toe inclines, up and down, and it's funny you say that about the fascia. It's almost like it's the same exact thing what this person was trying to
it's
activate.
everything, man.
Right,
it's everything. Like if you don't use it,
you lose it, man.
You lose it. It's true. And then it's as you get older, it's hard to get any of it back. So, you know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna tell you something I read that blew my mind years ago. Right, as I aged, I read about these nuns who lived to be over 100, and I'm gonna tell you the 3 things that these nuns said that I never forgot. It was mental exercise, physical exercise,
For sure, mental.
and social.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so dance. So these nuns would dance. And if you think about dance, you get physical, you get mental because you got to learn the steps, and you get social. So it was the friends. It was learning languages. And so if you don't do this stuff, right, so you have to have friends who talk to you. And you, like what we're doing now, you have to have that social interaction, that mental engagement, as well as the physical. And that's how you age gracefully, right?
Again, jiu-jitsu for me.
Yeah. You get all three.
That
You
at
get
the
all
same
three.
time. Not like, you get all the physical, the entire body, because you got to stretch, you got to warm up, then remembering the moves, when to do the moves,
Right.
how the other person's move, like that all comes. That's the mental part, and then also the mental part is, all right, I'm fucking tired, but I want to win. How am I going to do that?
Right.
So you got to push through that mental fucking, your body saying, oh, I want to quit. Like, you got to just keep going through that. And then the social part is you're talking to people. You're interacting with another person while you're rolling, but you're also at the end, we usually hang out and fucking talk like about anything. You know what I'm saying? So
And Jared and RJ, it's so important because you see a lot of these old people by themselves. So they lost that social connection. And I bring it up because that's what I'm worried about the youth of today.
I was thinking about that recently because
they would know what the
if
fuck to
anybody
do.
knows my situation, it doesn't matter. Anyway, with my mom, like she's by herself.
Yeah.
And we're trying to get her out to do more social stuff. She goes to this thing every week where she's with a group of other people who are going through the same thing. And she's still trying to go out and do her normal routine, like going to the grocery store and stuff like that. But again, she doesn't have any real social activities. And you can tell people who do and people who don't when they get older, because it immediately. That's why when people retire, which partially I'm thinking is part of it, but when they retire and they're not doing nothing all day, you could see that shit just because they have no mental stimulation. And then the other thing I was thinking while I'm going through this, I'm like, I don't have no kids. Who the fuck's gonna take care of me when I'm that age and when I get to that? You know what I'm saying? So I guess more than anything is like me just trying to delay that issue, those issues as long as I can, just to make it past. You know what I'm saying? Like the goal is to be past where she's at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Look, you're right. You're right for looking at that. Like going back to my nun group back in the day, it was they play bridge. So they getting social and then the mental stimulation of playing the cards and keeping track of it. It's the jiu-jitsu where you're getting physical, mental, and social at the same time. It's the dancing, mental, physical, and social at the same time. And so you don't think about that. And going back to these kids, if they're always on their phones or social media, when did they really get true social engagement?
They don't get physical. I've been thinking about that too, because I'm on TikTok a lot, and I have more recently started to. I used to not comment on anything. I don't want anything, but now it's just like, who the fuck cares? I'm not saying no wild shit.
Right.
If anything, I'm gonna try to say the funniest thing that I can.
Right.
But that's the other part. Like, you do get to kind of socialize a bit, because one creator will say something and then you'll read a comment that someone says. I try to stay away from like the political.
Right. You don't want to get too controversial.
No, it's more like the funny stuff.
Right.
But then you'll look in some of the comments and you see like, yo, the funniest shit I could ever. I'll be like, yo, I wish I thought of that. So you get because they do talk back and forth. You get a little bit of social interaction. Same thing with Facebook.
Right.
But then I don't know if it's enough to offset all the negative bullshit that's on there. That's the only thing with social media.
And you know what I believe, you guys? That if you made people put their names on shit, that negative stuff would drop. If your real name, like I use my real name on social media.
Same thing.
So it's, you don't say any out of pocket stuff. You say stuff that you will adhere to. As an example, you're talking about funny. I watched a lady raising ducks. So I never knew anybody raising ducks. So I'm looking at her, and she says, you need 5 female ducks till you 1 male duck. But sometimes they like a female duck more than the other. So she was telling this, and the male ducks are called a drake.
Mm-hmm.
And so the one lady said, so she says, so I can have all female ducks. And she says, you don't need a drake. So I said, Kendrick Lamar said that same thing. And then she gave me a little happy face. And so you're right. You say little quippy things, but most people, they don't comment. They just go and they consume it. And look, I don't post videos, but I will look at it and comment.
But then you'll see the people like, and a lot of it could be bots too, but you'll see the negative stuff in there, and it's like, why? Just,
right.
I don't know. But then your mood goes from here, and then you read one negative comment, and it's like, oh,
right.
Why'd you ruin everybody's day in the fucking?
It's crazy to it. And I'll tell you, like, as an example, I've learned so much from TikTok. I mean, I'll say stuff. Most people won't say stuff that will embarrass them, but I will. I'm like, look, I didn't know. So Saran wrap, right? I didn't know that they had that little button on the side that you hit so that it comes out smoother. And the same with foil until I saw it on TikTok.
I didn't know that either.
Look, I'm telling you, I went to the kitchen and said, let me check this out. And it's night and day. I'm talking for years. I've been messing this up.
Yeah, at least 40 of them.
And so TikTok will go.
A while.
Yeah, it'll be like I was today years old, and you'll see something or you'll see a perspective, and you'll be like, "Man, I never thought about that." Go ahead and like, and it's just crazy. Something you thought you knew, and you find out you didn't really know all the way.
Yeah, it's some very interesting stuff on there.
Right.
That kind of reminds me of the Mandela effect to a degree. It's like, we think we remember something one way, but it's actually something else.
Somebody tried to, and I think a lot of people are doing that shit just to fuck with people. Because there was something the other day, I don't remember exactly what it was, because I switched real quick. Because they were like, yeah, blah, 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 whatever this thing was, it used to be this. And I'm like, no, you're not going to do that to me. You're not fucking with my brain today. So I just kept going. I was like,
right.
No, I'm good. I don't need that. Because I know what I know and remember.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it's the accurate way of remember. I'm not going to let somebody who was born after me try to say something was something else.
Right.
Yeah, no. And the one, I think one of the most common examples, or more common examples, is the Berenstein Bears.
Yeah, I'm still confused.
Bernstein Bears.
I don't even remember.
Oh, wow.
I don't even remember what it was back then. So
I remember the books.
No, so
I used to read them all the time.
I've always known them as the Berenstein Bears.
That's what I
Yeah. So, but no, they're like, that's incorrect. They're like, it's the Bernstein Bears. I was like, no, that's wrong.
I mean, that's really the same.
It is, but it's how it's spelled.
I thought it was Steen versus Stein,
or something like that.
Right.
But and another really popular one.
That's another one. There's a bunch of Steins and Steens that you can, whatever.
There's another really popular one, believe it or not, is from The Empire Strikes Back, where Darth Vader professes that he is Luke Skywalker's father. A lot of people think the quote is, "Luke, I am your father." That's not
okay. What is it?
He says, "No, I am your father." He doesn't say the word Luke. He never, at one point in time, says, "Luke, I am your father."
All right. A lot of people messing that up.
You killed my father. No,
so
I am your father.
Speaking of that
makes more sense.
Yeah.
So back in the day when I was single, I used to ask, women who they liked, and they always would pick, Han Solo. Women was always attracted to Han Solo and never Luke Skywalker, right?
Because Han Solo is like the cool,
right,
the
rebel
guy. Yeah,
but
rebel.
it was, they thought of Luke as a kid a little bit.
Yeah, he's a simp,
right?
Yeah.
And then it was like,
Jesus.
I would be like, what about
Jedi?
No, I'd be like, what about Yoda?
He's a fucking
Can Yoda get a number or something like that?
Yeah.
They'd be like, hell no.
Nah,
But
Yoda
you
can't
love
do that.
baby Yoda.
Yoda's too small, and baby Yoda or Grogu, excuse me.
Yeah, you got Grogu. He like 50.
Yeah, he's 50, but he's also a baby.
But you know what? Grogu can get you a raise at your job. He can get you that parking space, right? He can get you all these benefits. He took them little 3 fingers and he twists them up. A raise you'll get, right?
Yeah.
He'll do that shit for you. But like you can't love Grogu without giving your phone number to Yoda. Is my theory with the Star Wars thing. You got to get the digits to Yoda. My man is green. He need to keep it clean.
Oh, Yoda, I think would be too. It depends on the age of the woman because Yoda would be too old.
They don't like Yoda. They used to like Han Solo and Lando Calrissian. Billy D. Williams and Harrison Ford were the two.
It was. Think about who those two people are.
Yeah.
I got you. I got
the
you.
best actors ever.
Oh, they were sex symbols back in the day.
And
Billy D. Williams with the fucking
right.
Colt 45.
That's it.
Everybody loved Billy
Everybody
D.
do love the Colt.
I remember my mom like, oh, it's Billy D. Like, yo,
That's it. They love them some
y'all
Billy.
chill the fuck out.
Oh, yeah, no, but you're correct though, and their personas in those movies are not your atypical,
right?
Hero. They're I would even say anti-hero-ish to a degree,
right?
They're both definitely anti-heroes.
You got the Millennium Falcon, the fastest ship in the side of the galaxy, and you got a giant Wookiee walking around with you. Who doesn't want a Wookiee?
That's it.
Seriously,
Wookiee.
Yeah.
Rocking everywhere.
There you go.
Oh my God, we should get the Chewbacca noise.
No, I don't really like
You
it.
don't like Chewbacca?
I like Chewbacca. I just don't like the noise.
The noise.
Yeah.
There you go.
When I was a kid, I didn't care. Like for some reason, as I got older, like it's like it's weird. I don't know.
Well,
But-
somebody around thought
And
of it.
that's what I wonder what this generation will have because they don't get all that social interaction. Is you're so enclosed by yourself with your own universe of games and phones and social media, and it's like a lot of that social media, you don't know if that shit is real.
Okay, what about Twitch? Like we're on Twitch right now.
All right. Well, now
There's
I don't
a chat,
know much
There's
about
a whole
Twitch.
chat. Like
Okay.
we have a couple people in the chat right now, and then
Yeah.
streamer. It depends on what they're streaming. Sometimes they'll do video games. Sometimes they'll do IRL, which is in real life, when they're just carrying a camera around in town. Which I'm not a big fan of that. But anyway, there's a bit of a social aspect. But then a lot of times, what happens, especially with the more popular streamers, is this parasocial thing becomes like people in the chat, like they think because they've seen this person all the time and they kind of know the ins and outs of their quote unquote life, that they know them. So that, that's what I mean by parasocial.
I got you.
That can be a problem. We talked about
we
last
talked,
week.
Yeah, we talked about it last week.
Some guy tried to shoot a shot at a couple of female streamers while they were streaming, and when they said no, I guess apparently one of the other ones came up to him and was like, basically said something to the guy, and the guy just flipped and was like, "Oh, I'll kill you." This is a whole long story, but I think I didn't see the whole thing, but that's what one of the commenters from last week's show said. So yeah,
It's crazy.
It is.
And you know what it reminds me of? So I've taught my sons at 14, about to be 15, is how to accept rejection and be okay. Because that's a social interaction.
Yeah.
I said when I was young and I would hit on the ladies, if they would turn me down, I would think she turned me down for a great reason. Like she got Ebola virus. She didn't want to give that to her brother.
There you go.
I wish I had thought about that.
You know what? She shanked her last two boyfriends.
Yeah,
And she
she
didn't want to
saving
shank
me.
me. She's
Yeah.
saving my life.
Yeah.
And they started laughing, but I said, you got to have that psychological to tell yourself so it takes the sting out.
Yeah.
Or she's a litter bug. I hate people who litter.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, she be littering. She be hella littering all the time. 'Cause
Yeah,
we got that don't mess with Texas.
Pick up your shit.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I don't want no litterers in my life.
So you know what? She used to be a man 2 days ago.
Oh shit.
She bought that punani at Walmart. You know, it's just whatever you need to think about, right?
Oh shit! My favorite one is like she. You know what? She probably nags a lot, and I don't want no naggers in my life.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what? She done poisoned somebody with her nagging.
RJ caught it.
Well.
Some realness.
No.
All right.
You missed the punchline. I said I don't want no naggers in my life.
Yeah. I'm not
Oh.
gonna do it. I'm not doing it. There's too much happening.
You still don't get it?
I still don't. Look, I'm over here trying to. Y'all got the eye thing going.
Nah.
He got what I said.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, what was the last
Just
time
think. I bet you everybody in chat knows.
Everybody
exactly
in the chat got it.
I don't want no naggers in my life.
Oh,
No.
Lord,
Yeah,
I got it now.
Jesus.
I got it now. It took a minute.
There,
took a minute.
I have a bit that I used that, but it's actually just from a true story from that happened during Thanksgiving when we were talking about.
Naggers, please. And
No, I was saying the last. A lot of the women that I have dated have ended up being kind of naggers, or like
I
they
see.
nag a lot.
Yeah.
And And at some point, I was just like, you know what? I don't want no naggers. And then my mom was like, what'd you say?
Oh, I got you. You know what, though? I'm going to give you the counterpoint is if they don't love you, they don't nag you. I'm going to give you an example.
If they don't love
you, they don't nag you. I'm going to give you this example. Mm-hmm. So like my wife, for instance.
See, I told you Epic could get it.
Is they'll notice something on your skin that you didn't notice, right?
Mm-hmm.
They'll be looking at your blemishes and be like, you need to go to the doc. Like stuff you would never see on your own body. Mm-hmm. Like this don't look right. Because they're looking at your body. That's how I got that little pubic hair thing. I didn't even notice it. I thought it was like some lint, right? And I said, oh, this is just some lint. They will notice stuff on your body and say something so you can go get it checked out. And so sometimes the nagging comes from a good place.
Yeah.
And so you're right. It's sometimes it doesn't, but sometimes it does. And if you take it on board, you could be a little better, right? I'm going to give you an example with me. So when I grew up, I always used to get the cheap boots, right? Them boots would last for 9 months. Like a pregnancy. Them boots would be jacked up at the end of 9 months.
And you get some real boots, some fucking Timberlands.
Right, exactly. So my wife would be like, why are you getting these broke-ass boots? And I'm like, well, I lived in a neighborhood. That's what we could get. Plus, if you had some nice boots in the neighborhood I grew up, you're going to get robbed.
Yeah, somebody snatch some shit.
So she was like, you don't live there no more, do you? But I never thought about that. And then she was like, when you going to get some nice boots? I said, well, nah, these boots are the same. And that's what she said. So one day she bought me some nice boots, some Timberlands, and she threw my other boots out. She said, I'm not even donating these. I'm putting these in the trash. And I'm like, no. She says, I did away with the tag, so we going to lose money if we don't wear these. And I put on those Timbs, and I was like, oh, these hella comfy.
Yeah.
She had been nagging me for years about upgrading the boots. I did a Walk America in them boots. I'm like, these are more comfortable than tennis shoes. And so I use that as an example to where I wasn't ready to make that change, so you had to force it on me. Right?
Yeah. Sometimes it's needed. I think that's for everybody, though.
Yeah. You need that little bitty. But like then I've had to do it back now. Look, we both, when you're in a relationship, there's stuff that they do. Like, I'll give you an example. I would go to McDonald's. I'd be like, okay, I'm going to McDonald's, honey. Do you want anything? She'd be like, no. I'm like, you sure? No. You positive? You bird dog positive? And then I would go, and then she mad as hell. You didn't give me a goddamn thing. What you did?
Bruh, that literally happened to me the other night.
Right, but you said it 3 times.
Yeah. I didn't even ask. I knew. I was just like, because if I come out of this store with something,
you getting shanked for real. With this big ass pencil right here.
And then I come out of the store. And I got these
Celsius.
a couple of Celsius. It was 3 for like $4 or something. I was like, oh, that's a bargain. I could take these home with me. Yeah. And then I read the sign and I was like, oh, new flavors. I'm like, oh shit, that sounds tight. So I got those 3 and I got a couple bottles of water. And the first thing out her mouth, these are the worst flavors you could have got. I'm like, oh, all right.
Well, it's funny you
just
say
go, hey, but you opened that motherfucker, didn't you?
And drank it. Yeah.
Drank the fuck out of it.
No, what I was gonna say is my family's very similar in that aspect too. Maybe it's a woman thing, I don't know. But I know that when I do go out and I do stop somewhere, like on the way home, like from work, Wendy's is literally right there on the way home. It's like, all right, Mom, you don't have to cook nothing tonight. I'll get myself something small. Do you need me to get you anything? No. But normally I don't because they've already eaten because I come home a little later.
Right.
But I'm telling you, I'll sit down, I'll have my bag, open it up, eat whatever. Can I get a fry? Oh, you want a fry? Sure. Here, let me just get a couple. Just stick their whole fist in there, grab them all, and it's like, all right, no problem. You said you didn't want anything? Oh, I just wanted a couple. So when I do this now, I always get like one extra small something. For my mom, because I'm telling you, it never fails.
That's smart.
It never fails, dude.
That keeps you from getting shanked. That's what I'm doing.
No.
I'm allergic to getting shanked.
Yeah. Nobody likes getting shivved.
That's right. Shanked, poison, beat up. I'm allergic to all that. That's my allergies.
No, there was, I know this is, speaking of shanking people, I know that sounds terrible.
It does.
It does. But I saw something, and I was kind of trying to bring this up a couple minutes ago, but there's a case in, what was it, Kansas? Okay. Where that the babysitter was watching the kid, and the kid was nagging at the babysitter.
He was a nagger?
Okay, now I can't forget it.
Yeah. So yeah.
All right, so what was the nagging about?
So he was like, hey, can you just check for monsters under my bed? And the babysitter was like, there's nobody here. Sticks their head under, and there's a man under the bed.
Holy shit!
Damn,
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, there was somebody actually hiding under that kid's bed. This happened this week, and it was
Wow.
yeah, it's just creepy as fuck.
That's
That
more
is
than a
creepy.
monster. That's some.
Yeah, that's creepy.
But could you imagine just how terrifying that must, like, just how fast that person's heart must have sunk?
Yeah.
I mean, that's got to be there was a story.
I'd come out like, you know what? Let's go find out.
Yeah, man.
From now on, anytime you look under a bed, stay strapped.
Yeah,
I'm serious.
I stay strapped anyway. But
And there was a case in Lorton. This was years ago. I think maybe not too long after I graduated, but somebody was babysitting, and went to go check on the kids. The kids were asleep, and there was a guy sitting in the corner in like a clown outfit. And didn't move, didn't say nothing. So the babysitter woke the kids up. The dude is standing there the whole time, just creepy as fuck. Gets him, walks out of the house. The dude was just standing there, dressed as a clown.
what the fuck?
Yes, that is a true story, as crazy as that fucking sounds.
Crazy shit happens,
For
man.
what though?
You don't know what? I couldn't tell you. I mean, there's no real logical way that normal people like us think that would possess us to do something like that, but it just takes a very twisted individual to just maybe not love properly. I don't know. I'm not trying to make
Love
it
properly.
Crazy
I don't
shit.
know. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I was thinking another thing about being a kid. I asked my kids, I said, do you guys give nicknames to each other? And they was like, no. I said, when I was a kid, you would do something crazy and you would get a nickname.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, no nicknames? They were like, no. What are you talking about?
No nickname.
And so
I was Axel Foley,
you was Axel Foley?
but that wasn't another kid didn't give me that. That was my auto mechanics teacher gave me that. He caught me like fucking shooting around a corner just with my finger. I'm in high school, fucking.
There you go.
playing
Oh,
gun.
here's the first
He was
one.
like, "What the fuck you doing, Axel Foley?" I'm like, "I'm just chilling, bro."
And
it stuck.
Yeah, and it's we could do that and it was okay and it wasn't a negative label. I mean, you guys know from Lucky's, I was Wayne Brady for a minute.
Yeah.
Because I had a situation where some people called me Wayne Brady.
Yeah.
I was at a Whole Foods and these two ladies came up, started taking pictures with me and shit. I thought I was buying like the 10 millionth almond milk. I'm profiling with my almond milk and shit. I was vegan for a minute, right? I'm like, yes, waiting for some confetti and shit to fall. Like, yeah, I got this almond milk here. And they were like, you look like Wayne Brady. And I was like, no. And I'm going to tell you, I apologize, RJ, to white people in general, because I stereotyped them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they white. They think we all look alike. But it's okay. So you know what I did? I called 3 black friends. And one of them was PJ, right? I was like, hey, man, I just had a situation. And he was like, you do look like Wayne Brady. I was like, damn. And I was like, but you never told me. He's like, you never asked. And I'm like,
that's what he would say.
that's what he was saying. And I'm like,
exactly what he
why
would
would I ask if I don't think I look like him? And he was like, look, we don't go around telling people what they look like. So he was called one. I called 2 other black friends. And I'm like, damn, I might look like him, even though I don't see it. So I tell that story at Lucky's. Do you know there's people there who never knew my real name? They would call me Wayne Brady. I'll be out. My kids would be like, Dad, who is Wayne Brady? How did they call you Wayne Brady? So that was one. And then you remember Eric?
Yeah.
He said I look like his Uncle Pookie.
Oh,
so I
shit.
became Uncle Pookie to some people who do not know my real name. Uncle Pookie. And look, he brought his dad in and his sister. I took pictures. Hey, this Uncle Pookie right here. And then I was, what was I? I was Barry Poppins. That's Black Mary Poppins too.
I was there that day.
Yeah, we went wine tasting.
Yeah.
Because I brought an umbrella because it was raining.
The only motherfucker that brought an umbrella.
Because look,
I mean, he was prepared.
I look at my phone app,
It only rained one time during the day.
but I was ready for that rain.
Yeah. No,
But-
I mean, it's better to be prepared.
Wait. But the thing is, the only we didn't call him that until it actually rained, because it rained right when we got there.
Yeah.
And he pulled this fucking umbrella. He's walking around with his umbrella.
Hey, you smart, man. Don't let this clown
See,
you,
I
Jack.
know. I look at my phone app.
We call him Barry Poppins the whole time.
Black
That
Mary
shit-
Poppins. And so that's what's crazy is that we're from a generation where we can do that and laugh and joke about it.
Yeah.
Whereas, I talk to the newer generations and they were like nicknames. And I'm like, yeah. You don't give each other nicknames and just tease each other, and they don't. At least I haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I think it depends. I think it depends on the friend group.
That could be a big
True.
aspect of it.
I think you have to. I think you got to go through something like together first.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's fair
to
because you got
kind of have a bond.
because nicknames are in a sense adventurous.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Yeah,
like, it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, I had a shitload of nicknames, you know, when I was younger. I've got
Throw one out.
Yeah,
Throw one out.
I've
What you got?
Do Dangerous.
Okay, not your rap name.
No, well, no. I've got Jay Shep, Ardu. They used to call me Ardu.
All right, all right.
Ardu, just because we would do it. There's
Ace Ventura?
No. In 6th grade, I had really bad dandruff. I'm not gonna lie, so they used to call me Flakes. All right,
There you go. See, that's old school.
Yeah, so they used to call me Flakes. And I remember one time it was snowing outside, and they were like, "RG didn't wash his hair," or some shit like that.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. So
That's how people go.
yeah, so I just started like rubbing my head and shit, and some of the flakes started coming out.
Wow,
and
you
shit.
fucking self-deprecating because I would have been embarrassed.
Oh, I was laughing too.
Look, they do it.
That's all right, man. Like Arvis said, man, you got to just roll with it. I would rather laugh with everybody than be in the corner. Oh, you're mean to me.
Look.
Like, don't do that.
I had some teeth knocked out doing some sporting events when I was in college. They called me Count Blackula. I was ruthless but toothless. I was hagging and snagging. They was like, "Hey, man, I need you to open this bottle." So that's how people are. In fact, ask the people in the Twitch stream, what was your nickname? You got to post it up. If you had a nickname, post your nickname on the stream or the chat or whatever.
Epic said, talking with the kids, he says nicknames are hard to come by nowadays because everyone has the same 3 names. What, like Chris, Steve, and John or something?
Or
Shit,
John.
look, I don't know.
John, definitely. I'm not naming my kid John. I'm telling you that.
Yeah.
No offense.
No
John.
offense, but
Yeah. You gotta get some cool nicknames. You would love it, right? Turkey Neck, ashy elbows.
yeah, it doesn't. Matter of fact, it doesn't come down to what their name is. Like
They got to do something.
One of my nicknames from my boys was J-Ro, but that's just like something to call me. This like a friendly thing, but we talking about like how I got Axel Foley or how
Right.
you got Barry Poppins.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be about your name.
Yeah.
It's all about your demeanor.
Caden, Hayden, and Jaden.
Caden, Hayden, and Jaden. Oh, yeah, no.
Caden Hayden. Look, and that's what was cool is that you would have it, and that's how you knew your friends, and nobody else knew but them.
Yeah.
And so they would call you that, and you turn around and be like, "What's up? What's happening?" Right?
Mm-hmm.
But nowadays, they were like, "You guys had nick." He was like, "Yeah." In fact, I'll give other people's kids a nickname, and they were like, "Hey, my kid said you gave him a nickname. You can't do that no more." So I'm like, "All right, I'm gonna take it back." So that's what's crazy these days.
Yeah, no, that's wild, dude.
They don't do it.
Dude, having a nickname is cool.
I thought so, right?
Yeah.
But it was, again, we go back to this label thing where it's now everybody's so sensitive, you can't say nothing.
Let me ask you this. Have you ever met somebody, I know this is just a random thought, that has a name that you wouldn't think of? Like, say, like if I met like a white person and their name was like Darnell. And it's like
I have. Like Dwayne something. I had a friend named Dwayne that we were online and I assumed he was black. And then we met and I just looked at him and he says, "Look, man, I work with the NAACP. They do the same thing. Like we'll work online, but the dude is white." And he was like, "Yeah." He says, "I get a big kick out of it." So I have seen that.
Yeah, no, that just, well, we were on that subject. But since you're talking about that, I know when we started the show, you were talking about, you potentially being part of some maybe documentaries and things of that
possibly,
nature.
yeah.
What is there anything that you can, I don't want to say solidify, but like maybe give us like a sneak peek into potentially of what it could be in terms of where it may show or something
So
of that
sure.
nature?
So it's again, when I came on many moons ago, it was about military and false accusations, wrongful convictions. So as a result of the Me Too movement, the military was pressured by members of Congress to get more convictions regardless of what the evidence showed. Okay. So as an example, we had guys who had DNA proof, they still were convicted. We had guys who had video proof it wasn't them, they still were convicted.
Okay.
We had guys who had confessions from their accuser, and they still were convicted. The military threw it out. And so they had so much pressure to show that they were tough on these types of situations that they threw a lot of men under the bus. And I think it's tied to the whole everybody being so sensitive.
Yeah.
You can't say anything, do anything now because you're going to get that negative label. Someone will always assume you mean something negative without digging in to see what your intentions were.
Yeah. 100%. And it's so wild, though. You would think, me being a civilian, all right, you would think, the military, the strongest military in the world, things like this wouldn't happen. And
you would think so.
Yeah, but it is to a degree to where, you're speaking out about it and being involved in the movement, right. And how it happens every day and is swept under the. It's wild to think about, because I'm sure when Jared was 18 and when he enlisted, and just when any young man or woman wants to, they want to go in and do the right thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then it turns into this mess, this real mess.
RJ, I'm going to give you a real world example that your listeners can evaluate right now. It's the Blake Lively, Justin Baldoni situation.
Oh my God.
Are you guys following that at all?
I'm not following it closely. I try to stay out of celebrity gossip, but I've heard back and forth. Like, she was suing him for all this stuff, which it looked bad, and then he had like videos or text messages. It was like, nah, that's not what happened.
So I'm gonna give you a brief synopsis. It's more than this, but she claimed that he sexually harassed her, that he came into her trailer while she was pumping breast milk.
Okay.
So he presented the text messages where she said, hey, come into my trailer. I'm only pumping breast milk. He knocks on her trailer door. He says, are you sure? He had a witness there. She says, sure, come on in. But she said that was harassment. And so he, in turn, produced video evidence, text messages. And now a lot of people in social media are like.
He knew what it was.
He knew what it was.
Like, I need to get all the receipts that I can.
Yeah. And so he sued her husband, Ryan Reynolds. She's friends with Taylor Swift. It's a huge thing now. And they were like, now her friends are abandoning her. But the point of it is she felt comfortable to make those allegations, and she knew he had proof. But she thought, in this environment, I can say anything I want because I'm a woman and you're going to believe me.
Well, it could have been also covering her ass in the moment, because my thing was, if this was going on, how come Ryan Reynolds didn't do anything as her husband?
Right.
To me, that seemed a little strange, and until because the other thing was everybody's like, oh, he did, because there was a reference to him in Deadpool vs.
Wolverine. Right. They're talking about that too.
All right, that's fine, but how come you didn't know about this now? And now there's an entire case against this person.
The other things, you guys, is Justin Baldoni was a producer of the movie. He was bullied. So Ryan Reynolds and her made script changes and made him accept it. They made him not get to walk the red carpet for his own movie. He had to be in the basement because they have more clout in Hollywood. Yeah. And so he was going to let it all go until he was sued first.
Yeah, he was
and
like,
he
nah,
just said, wait a minute, fuck that.
Yeah.
And then he starts showing video. He has a website where he's got videos, text messages. They did an article, I think it was in the New York Times, where they cut off the text messages. They never put his response. So he sued them too. They were released from the lawsuit, but he's like, wait a minute, you only put half the story. He lost projects. He lost millions of dollars. He's like, my reputation is gone.
Yeah.
I have to defend myself.
100%.
And so now you have that. And so I use that as a bridge to the military and says, look, happens there too, but nobody cares. If you didn't serve, if you're not currently in uniform, you don't care. But when it happens to Justin Baldoni with Blake Lively, okay, you care because now it's a celebrity you know. When it happens to Johnny Depp with Amber Heard, well, you care a little bit and that's what happened in society. You can have a group of people who push a narrative, and even if it's not true, people believe that shit.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, what do they call it? They call it white woman tears. It's like they'll do that shit because it historically has worked. Like, look at the Emmett Till situation.
I'm familiar with that one, yeah.
I know you're familiar, but
Most people are not.
If they're not, Emmett Till was a young man who was accused by a white woman. Was this the 50s?
Yeah, I believe so.
50, maybe 60s. 50s or
long
60s.
Time ago. Got you.
He was accused of raping this white woman. So the townspeople found him, beat the shit out of him, threw him in a river, and whole thing. And come to find out later, was she on her deathbed or did she say something later?
She was close to her deathbed. She told an author that it wasn't true.
Yeah.
And it was.
And she held on to that shit for years.
Yeah.
Like this kid, he was a teenager.
He was like a teenager, like 14, 15, something like that.
Lost
was
his life
killed,
over a fucking lie. Again, white woman tears. Oh my God. And it was probably because she was out fucking around on her husband. And she needed somebody to blame.
My understanding was the allegation was just touching or whistling or something like that in a store. It was just milder.
Back then.
But back then, that was enough to get somebody killed.
Yeah.
And it was, she held on to that till this author came forward. And so you're right, it was, they built a statue in his honor. Like she was still alive.
50s and he was 14.
Yeah. Some people wanted her to get arrested, but they were like, well, she had the courage to come forward and say it was a lie. But that's the type of stuff. You expect it in the 50s. You don't expect it now.
Yeah.
You don't expect it now, and they keep it very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these men, some of them have killed themselves because they believe nobody will believe men anymore, right?
Yeah.
That it's believe women but not men. I tell people, imagine a world where your daughter will be believed but your son will not.
Well, I mean, that's the world we live in, though.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And then there was a whole, besides the Me Too thing, there was this whole thing of like, don't blame victims. It's like, first of all, how do we know that the victim is the victim?
Jared, I love that quote because I always say accuser. You gave them a label of victim before you looked at any evidence.
Yeah.
I say accuser. You're exactly right.
Mm.
And there's no punish for them when they lie. There's no punishment.
That's a big thing too.
That's something that needs to change.
That's
really.
happened. Yeah, they've been talking about it for years. A college student that happened recently. I don't remember the details.
I feel like I know what you're talking about because I feel like it was
same situation. It was a black kid. I think he played football. I can't remember all the details.
So there was one with it was. I think there was one with two guys who both played football, and they had a sexual encounter with her, where it was the two men and the one woman.
Yeah, okay.
And then a guy she liked found out, and so she claimed it was rape because she didn't want that guy to think less of her. That's
crazy.
It is crazy, but that. I think she got a little probation or something like that, but it's
that's nothing.
That she felt that she could do that, and people would support her, believe her, and even if she was punished, it would be less than what they got.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll use the NFL.
And they had to go through the scrutiny of being being accused, all that. Oh, and they were football players. They lost their careers.
I use the NFL player. So a few years ago, he was called the punt god. Matthew Ariza, I think is his name. He got drafted by the Buffalo Bills. He was from like San Diego State, I think, where he was like record-setting punter. In fact, his nickname was the punt guy, right? So he gets drafted by the Bills, and then a woman accuses him of raping her at a party and then bringing her in a room and then letting all of his football teammates gang rape her. So the Bills drop him. He fights it for a year. Do you know what saved him? All of those videos on their phones. They had recorded the entire event.
That's one good thing about today.
Correct.
Everybody has a phone, so it could go either way.
So after the prosecutor,
the
prosecutor looked at it, she dropped all the charges against all the men, including Matt, and he had to file a lawsuit against her. Her team came to him, my understanding, and says, "Give me this much money, and I'll drop you from the lawsuit." And he's like, "No." He had to sue her. She dropped him completely. I think the Jets gave him a tryout, and then he got picked up by the Kansas City Chiefs. Like, I reached out to him to see would he talk about the movement, but again, nothing.
Yeah.
And there was a baseball player, too, Bauer is his last name, I'm pretty sure of, where he had video footage of his accusers saying, "We're trying to get the bag. We're trying to make this money."
That's rough.
And he gets banned from baseball. He goes to Japan and plays. He goes to Mexico and plays. And it's MLB cut him off. And he's like, "Wait a minute. I gave you video proof that my accusers were lying, and you won't let me do my job." And it's people didn't get outraged, right?
Yeah.
It's he had multiple women where he showed proof. He had video proof, and it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough. And that's what we're trying to get people to understand, that you can put stuff in the shadows, and guess what? It'll stay there unless you do stuff like this and you talk about it.
Yeah. it goes back to what we were talking about earlier is of men just not. We've always been building something, going to war and dying, and that's all we're good for. You know what I'm saying? Like we producing the kid, not necessarily even having to be there. And I'm not saying that it's like a negative thing. I'm just saying,
but just very simple, constructive type.
Yeah, this is what you are, and this is all we use you for. If anything outside of that, then you're fucked. And like, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
Everything just gets shoved away.
And I will tell you, I've counseled men, helping them kind of as part of this movement.
And I don't want to make this sound like any red pill type shit.
Exactly. I call it the cave. Is that what I have found with men is they feel so dejected that they go into a cave. They don't feel anybody will believe them. They don't feel anybody will help them. They don't feel comfortable expressing their outrage, their anger, so they go into a cave, and that's where bad shit happens.
Yeah.
And so it's if I can encourage anybody anything, it's to talk about your feelings. It's something we weren't taught. It's something some men and boys are never taught. But it's so important to let that stuff out in a constructive, positive way. Otherwise, it will build, and if it comes out, it might not come out in the best way.
I tell you, martial arts.
Yeah.
Do some Muay Thai, kick a bag, or punch a bag a bit.
And after
you'll get it out real quick before you do that. Don't do that yet. Epic said, get enough people to see/believe the lie, and that's all you need to ruin anyone.
That's it.
Yep.
That's it.
That's facts.
Epic 2028. He's running for office now.
First of all, no.
No,
he could be like, I don't know. He could be in my cabinet, but I'm running again.
You running again?
Yeah, he's running again.
All right, Jared 2028.
We learned a lot from this last election, things that we can do better. And, you know.
We did.
We need to put our best foot forward.
Mainly more people need to actually like go out and campaign for him.
There you go.
Yeah.
What
the fuck is wrong with all of us?
There you go. Let people know.
Anyway, that is the sound of me reminding you.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, motherfucker, you didn't do enough.
Well, I drank out of the mug and I shared the mug. And we share with you every week here on the Mad Scientist Lab podcast. Check us out anywhere you get your podcasts. That is Apple Music, Spotify, all that good stuff. Every Monday at 9 a.m. sharp for the visual on YouTube. And every Saturday, wow, man, we got a plethora of things.
Let Arvis pick from the...
oh, yes. And
actually, you could might as well... Well, not those. I was going to say you could pick from the set of glasses, but I thought it was a different kind of glasses. Never mind.
No. So it's been a while since you've been here.
Not the bottle cap. Just the plastic ones.
Here. We'll just put it. We'll put them there. We'll put them there. Since you're on the show again, we like to give our guests an honorary booby band.
He didn't get one last. You didn't get one last time.
No.
Okay.
So you can have your pick of the booby bands.
FYI, we're almost out.
We are almost out of booby bands.
Just saying.
So who is going to save the tatas? All right.
You can pick anyone, like whatever message you prefer.
Okay, hold on.
You want to take a look?
Let's see.
Boobs take
magic?
whichever one you like.
Look.
There used to be a bunch of different kinds. Like the one I have, they've broken a few times. This is my third one.
All right, I'm gonna go with it. No, that's a great cause. Like I said, breast cancer is some serious stuff, and
I love titties.
Yes, and I love boobs and eyes.
You have one already.
Yes.
Thank you guys. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome, and thank you for coming on the show, man. It's always nice to have people come over and talk about real life shit, real important shit. Catch us next week, guys. And yeah, dude, and yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
One day he'll get it right.
Thank you guys for having me.
Of course, brother. Thank you for
coming
on.
through. See you guys next week.
An hour? What am I supposed to do with the mad scientist for an hour?
You know, tamper in God's domain.
That's right.
Hit you so hard you won't see nothing. Ever.
Audio skulls all day.
The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab. The merit scientist lab.
You can't have an opinion on something that you haven't even tried.
Exactly.
The merit scientist.